Hare Krishna everyone. Hope you had a lovely day. Welcome to Soma Vedic Astrology channel. Today we will discuss about the 6th house of a birth chart in Vedic astrology. The 6th house is the house of enemies. This house shows Rog, Rin and Shatru, which means diseases, loans and enemies. Hence this house is also called as the Shatru Bhaava. This is the house which deals with joblessness, bankruptcy, poverty, court cases. Okay, so these are the major themes of this house. Let us now see in detail what all things can we see from the sixth house. The first thing is the obstacles and the challenges that comes in a person's life. Now this obstacle can be any form of obstacle. It can be in your work, in the form of joblessness. It can be in your personal life, it can be in your married life, divorces, separation, issues in the marital life. It can also be the obstacles in your health, such as some form of illness, accidents, etc. And it can also be in the finance area of your life, which is related to loans, poverty. So in this way the overall obstacles and challenges which can come in any area of your life can be seen with this house. Now this obstacle can come in your life due to some certain event of a bad luck, or there will be some entering of some person in your life which is going to bring certain challenges. Okay, the second thing which we see from this house is the enemies. Whether you will get involved in physical fights or verbal quarrels with your enemies, whether you fear them or you are going to get victorious over your enemies, and what type of repercussions you will face due to the enmity. Maybe it can be injuries if you are doing some physical fights, accidents, blame games, reputation loss, mental distress, enemies initiating some thefts, okay, fear, humiliation, trouble from the servants. So all in this form, even the repercussions you can see. Hence, on international level, war can also be seen from the sixth house, as war is nothing but a form of a physical fight. Now, another form of fight is a legal battle. Hence, legal battles is also seen from the sixth house. Legal, so court cases, litigations, accusations, lawsuits, the nature of fight which you will fight in the court, whether you will lose or win the legal battle. Okay, all these things can be seen from the sixth house. Now legal dispute can also happen with your spouse, which is in the form of a divorce. So this is also seen from the sixth house, and that is why the separation, divorce proceedings, this also becomes the part of sixth house, because sixth house is not good in terms of marriages, as sixth house is 12th from the seventh house. Seventh house represents marriage, partnership, long term commitments. 12th shows that some form of loss is going to happen with respect to the matters of the seventh house. So, sixth being 12th from 7th can also show the separation from your partner, separation from a long term commitment, either in the marriage or in a business. Mistress or the affairs of the spouse, loss to a partner, all these things can also be seen from the sixth house. Now, the fifth thing that we can see from the sixth house, according to Rishi Parashar, the stepmother of a child is also seen from the sixth house. Now, the sixth thing that we can see is debts and loans. Now, debts not only in the form of money, but all types of debts that you can take from an external person. So, from money point of view, if we see, then debt can be in the form of credit cards, debit cards, maybe a housing loan, business loan. Now taking loans are not is not a bad thing. Most of the businessmen uses loan to become a big person in life. It all depends. Some people even earn from taking loans and using the money in the right way. So whether loan is going to help you move ahead in life, this all depends on the strength of the sixth house in the one's birth chart. Even whether you will be able to clear off your debts or not, how fast, how slow, all these things can also be seen. Now, the another form of debt is also called as the Prarabdha Karma, or the fixed karmas, which one has to do in this lifetime, due to which the soul has gotten birth in this lifetime. The seventh thing is the diseases and illness. What type of disease one can get, which body parts are more vulnerable, how long it will take to recover, whether the disease that you are going to get, is it going to come for a short duration or for a long duration. Okay, so all these things can be seen from the sixth house, and since sixth house is showing the diseases, it also means that it is also showing your overall health and well-being, your physical and mental health and well-being. We know that health and well-being of a person depends on his day-to-day routine and the habits a person has. That is the reason your daily life routines, your habits, all this is also seen from the sixth house. Now, daily routine is not only related to the area of work, but it is also the overall routine of your entire day. Maybe, drinking a coffee, going for a jog, doing yoga, drinking alcohol, any form of habit can be good and can be bad habit. So all these things can is seen from the sixth house. Okay, so improve your sixth house. That is the reason it is very important to maintain good habits and a disciplined lifestyle. Only in that way you will be able to reap out the benefits from the sixth house. The 10th thing that we can see from the sixth house is pet animals. Okay, the pet animals, small animals, the love you have with your pets, this all things can be seen. Now, the 11th thing that you can see from the sixth house is service. Sixth house is a house of servants, okay, who do menial jobs, who are doing some form of service, and that is the reason sixth house is also called as the house of service. The selfless service one does for the masses, what type of job suits you, the type of work you do, whether you will be receiving support from your colleagues at workplace. Okay, so all these things can be seen. Again, because sixth house represents service, you can improve your sixth house by doing service to the less fortunate people. Now let us see the people associated with the sixth house. So those are competitors, enemies, beggars, servants or domestic help, your colleagues at workplace, maternal uncles and aunts. Now why maternal uncles and aunts? Because sixth house is third from the fourth house. Fourth house being house of mother, third showing the siblings, so mother's siblings means maternal uncles or aunts. Okay, then people of service industries, mistresses, stepmother, all these people are associated with the sixth house. Now, which career is related to the sixth house? So first segment can be career which deals with illness, diseases and healing. So career related to doctor, surgeon, healers, etc. Second segment can be career related to dealing with the enemies. So it can be actual physical fight, maybe police, soldiers, army persons. Okay, and or it can be some psychological fight, any form of fights where you have to deal with the enemies. Okay, then the third segment of career can be career related to law, because it also deals with debates and fighting, dealing with the enemies legally. You are fighting in a legal manner with an enemy, so a career of lawyer can also is shown from the sixth house. And the fourth segment can be related to finance, especially here related to lending, borrowing, loans, debts, venture capital, all these things. So banker is also a career which is seen from the sixth house. Another thing which you can see is the fifth segment is public service. So any form of a public servant can also be seen from the sixth house. Now, the type of places seen from the sixth house is hospitals, pharmacies, courts, police stations, rehab centers, banks. Which body parts are associated with the sixth house? It is the stomach, the digestive system, lower abdomen, appendix, large intestine, kidney, uterus, and anus. So, any affliction to the sixth house can show issues related to ulcer, digestive issues, food allergies, etc. Now let us see the relation of the sixth house with the other houses of the birth chart. Sixth house is 12th from the seventh house. Seventh house is the house of marriage, spouse, partnerships, long term commitments. 12th house shows some form of loss with regards to the matters of the seventh house. So, 12th from the seventh shows loss of partnership. It can also show competition in the partnership, and that is the reason mistresses and affairs of the spouses can also be seen from the sixth house, and it also can show the separation from the partner. Sixth house is 11th from the eighth house. Eighth house is the house of your in laws. 11th house is the house of gains, profits, income. So 11th from the 8th shows gains of your in laws. 8th house is also house of transformations. So 11th from 8th also shows what you will be gaining from a transformative event that is going to happen in your life. 11th from the 8th also shows gain of longevity, because 8th house is a house of longevity, which means overcoming from a disease. Okay, now, sixth house is 10th from the ninth house. Ninth house is the house of father. Ninth house is also the house of luck and fortune. 10th house is the house of career. So 10th from ninth shows luck from the father's career, or luck which your father is going to experience in his career, maybe in the form of promotions, okay, the reputation, fame, status which your father will receive from his career. Sixth house is ninth from the 10th house. 10th house, as we all saw, is a house of career, and ninth house is the house of good luck, fortune, etc. So ninth from 10th shows the blessings or the good luck, fortune that you have with respect to your career. Sixth house is eighth from the 11th house. 11th house is the house of elder siblings, network circle, income, and eighth house is the house of transformations. Events of sudden gain and losses, sudden events. So 8th from 11th shows sudden losses in the income or income loss, or it can also show sudden gain. Okay, it's a very dicey house. 8th from 11th also shows sudden events in your elder sibling's life. It can also show sudden events in a life of your friend. Sixth house is seventh from the 12th house. 12th house is the house of spirituality and bed pleasures. Okay, seventh from 12th means what? Okay, seventh means it is opposite to the sixth house. Okay, complete opposite. So since 12th is spirituality, seventh from 12th, which means opposite to 12th, is going to show what is something which is going to take you away from the spiritual path. Okay, sixth house shows your illnesses, your diseases, your enemies. So 12th house, which is opposite to 6th house, is going to show the health issues, enemies of your spouse. Okay, the maybe whether spouse likes to live in isolation or not, what is spirituality means to your spouse, all these things can be seen. Now, sixth house is fifth from the second house. Fifth house is the house of Purva Punya, or blessings due to your past life good deeds. Second house is the house of your accumulated wealth. So, fifth from second shows the blessings which you get when you accumulate the wealth. So, what does this mean? So, blessing means that once you accumulate your wealth, whether you are actually going to be able to enjoy your wealth, live, in a luxurious manner, live in a good way or not. So, these things can be seen. Sixth house is fourth from the third house. Fourth house is the house of comforts and happiness. Third house is the house of courage. So, fourth from the third house shows one's efforts and courage needed to get the comforts of your life. Fourth house is the house of comforts, happiness, and third house is the house of siblings. So, fourth from third house shows the happiness and comforts of your younger siblings. Now, third thing is, fourth house also shows is the house of vehicles. Third house is the house of siblings. So, fourth from third again now shows the type of vehicles, or the type of house of your younger siblings. Fourth house is the house of home and real estate. Third house is the house of neighbors. So, fourth from third also shows the real estate of your neighbors. Sixth house is third from the fourth house. Fourth house is the house of mother, and third house is the house of siblings. So, third from the fourth shows siblings of your mother, okay, which means your maternal uncles and aunts. Fourth house is the house of mother, and third house is the house of communication. So, third from fourth shows the communication style of your mother. Fourth house is the house of mother, and third house is the house of short trips. So, third from the fourth is going to show the short trips which your mother, takes. Sixth house is second from the fifth house. Fifth house is the house of children, and second house shows accumulated wealth. Hence, second from fifth shows your children's wealth and status. Now we will see certain terminologies which is associated with the sixth house. The first thing is APOKLIMA. So, house number 3, 6, 9 and 12 are called as the APOKLIMA house. APOKLIMA means the house on slope that deals with a decline or an expense. So, since sixth house, if you see, it is kind of a challenging house where some challenges or suffering, sorrow, sadness, health issues, enemies, loans, some form of suffering happens, which is we should not see it in a negative way, because only when you suffer, then only you get that courage to move ahead in life. So, this you just should see in the form of a terminology, that because it deals with such things, that is the reason it is called as an APOKLIMA house. The next is the DUSTHANA house. House number 6, 8 and 12 is called as the DUSTHANA house. DUSTHANA means the things which causes sorrow, suffering, sadness, pain in a person's life. Okay, since the sixth house relates with the obstacles, diseases, accidents, enemies, deaths, so each of these things gives some form of pain and suffering to a person, and hence sixth house is a DUSTHANA house. The next is terminology is the Upachaya house. Now, house number 3, 6, 10, and 11 are the Upachaya houses. Sixth house is the second Upachaya houses. So, what happens with the Upachaya house is that initially you will face lot of challenges, with this house. So, we are now specifically talking about the sixth house. You are going to face those, any of those issues. But since Upachaya means growth, which means as and when a person gets older, okay, with time a person is better equipped to deal with these challenges, because person is also getting mature, and person is able to handle the situations, based on his or her own experience. And that is why the results of the Upachaya houses always improve with time. It is never going to stay bad forever. The situations are going to improve with regards to the Upachaya house, and sixth house being one of the Upachaya house. Now, the next is the Trishadayas. So, Trishadaya house is house number 3, 6, and 11. So, sixth house is part of this Trishadaya's house. Now, what is Trishadaya? It represents like house number 3, 6, and 11 represents desire, anger, and greed respectively. Now, Trishadaya houses are the houses which is opposite to the spiritual houses. Okay, Trishadaya houses obstructs the spiritual growth of a person. Okay, that is so sixth house is also part of this house. And the Purushaartha attached to the sixth house is Artha. This is one of the Artha house. Like house number 2, 6, 10 are the Artha house. Sixth house is the second house related to Artha. Artha means the material well-being, the material pleasures, money, wealth, work, recognition, all these kind of things. Okay, now you might wonder why the sixth house, is related to Artha, because the money that you accumulate is after doing some hard work in your life, after conquering the obstacles, however small or however big the obstacle is. Once you conquer it, once you get successful in the challenges and the competition, you are rewarded. Okay, and if you see the super billionaires, millionaires, or whoever is the biggest person materially, none of them have gotten it easy. There had been challenges in their life, obstacles. So that is how they become big in life. That is the reason sixth house is also an Artha house. I hope you guys must have liked the video. Please do not forget to subscribe the channel, and please do let me know in the comment section below what more videos would you like to see. Thank you.